afternoon, everybody. I'm your host, Lionel Tavares from the Sabbath at Midnight, here to bring you these new t-shirts we just got made. They have the crucifix in the front, very obvious, so you could show off exactly who you represent. The back has the old school, old English. Okay, we're keeping it gangster, and we're keeping it truthful. So if you guys want to grab one of these shirts and you're not ashamed to represent Jesus Christ, and you want to help a Christian podcast grow and reach bigger audience, please reach out and we will sell you one of these shirts for a very reasonable price. If you are international, it will be a little extra, but work with me and I'll work with you. I hope you guys have a good day and God bless.
So go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello there. My name's Adolf Santasteven, and live in Fresno, California. I got some stories that started back when I was a kid. When I was a kid, we lived in a farm between Sanger and Delray, which is southeast from Fresno, California. And we had pigs and, animals and everything like that. And we happened to live right across the street from a dump, which is the kid's best friend.
Yeah.
You get to find all kinds of stuff, goodies, and take them home and everything like that, till you get a lecture about it.
Yeah. Build forts.
But, and also there's some ponds beyond the dump site. And back then they used to, dig a hole throughout the trash and everything. And then they cover it up. And that's the reason there's a pondy basin. And but one day I seen some strange light across the street at the dump. In the dump, they had hills probably about 100 feet tall.
Was this in the nighttime or the daytime?
Daytime.
Okay.
And it was in the morning.
Okay.
And then I told my dad about it. There's a light over there. So he looks at it, and it's a good probably 400 yards. 500 yards away from the house. So our driveway is probably a good 100 yards long. Then we get to the street, then you walk across the field. And so anyway, I grabbed my BB gun, thinking I was all big and everything. And my dad grabbed his rifle. And we start walking across the field toward the hills. And beyond the hills are, it's that Pawnee Basin. To the right is all the junk stuff. And we start climbing up this hill, and it's all sandy, kind of sandy, fine sandy loam. And we start getting to the top, and then we're just going to look over, and we could still see this bright light. I mean, this is daytime, but we're seeing this light, shining over the hill. Next thing I know, we're back at the beginning of the field, not jumping, but walking downhill, probably about 7-8 feet toward the road. And we woke up kind of, but we're walking. I looked at my dad. I go, what happened?
Wow.
And it started getting dark. It's evening time. And I looked at him. I go, what happened, Dad? He goes, I don't know. Don't say nothing. So we kept on walking, walked up the driveway, and my mom comes out. She goes, where were you guys? Oh, my dad looks at me, tells her we're hunting. And I don't know what happened. We both don't know what happened after that. I mean, during that time. And we never talked about it. And then as time went on.
How old were you at that time?
Probably 6 years old.
Okay.
And this story's getting good. This story's getting good. Right now, I even turn all the lights off in the studio. It's like 10 times better.
Oh, cool.
I swear to God. I swear to God.
And then there was other time, me and my brother and sister were playing around the house. It's a small little house, 1 bedroom, 1 kitchen. Actually, we had an outhouse in the back. Yeah, we're back then you don't know you're poor till you go to somebody else's house.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly.
They had to actually flushing toilet.
Yeah, and then a lot of my friends had their own room. I was like, "What? You have your own room?" I'm like,
I slept in the living room.
hey, me too. My entire life till I was like 17, I slept in the living room.
Yeah, and so we were playing around the house and everything. Then my sister seen something shiny behind the house. There's grapevines, and it must have been during October or something like that, because there was no more leaves on the grapevines. Maybe beginning in November. No, probably about November. And she seen it, and she, yells at me and my brother, and so we started running to the back of the house. Then all of a sudden, we seen this cylinder-shaped thing that was about a quarter mile away. It was shiny. Then all of a sudden, it stopped for a second, and it went straight up.
Wow.
And we're both going, "Oh, did you see that? We're pounding on the door and everything, trying to get
really quick. Did it have any windows or anything? Did it have any kind of glow? Was it like any other details besides that?
No, it was just shiny.
Like metallic, like a silver.
Metallic, but those
mirror.
sort of I'm trying to picture it right now. Sort of had like grayish streaks on the side.
Wow.
Like maybe
just markings, maybe like some kind of markings. You would think?
No markings. Oh, okay. More like sort of like spray. Like when you drive over salted snow, it leaves spray.
Oh, okay.
Back on the side of the car. Sort of edge.
That thing was traveling a lot, maybe. That's what, or came out of the sand, or came out of the dirt. Maybe who knows.
But, yeah, who knows? But it looked, shiny but dirty.
Okay.
Grayish on the side.
So that just confirms to me that it's something physical. Definitely.
Yeah. It wasn't shiny. Like, spit.
Like divine. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. It was dirty looking, but shiny.
Okay.
And we seen that, so we started pounding on the door and everything like that. And I guess my parents were busy because they didn't open the door at that time,
Yeah.
The doors were locked and everything. So,
wow.
What do you want? Damn it!
I didn't figure that out till later, But that happened, and just a lot of strange things. Remember I told you I went to going across the street to the dump and finding toys and everything?
Right.
Yeah.
I found some golf clubs. And I was like, oh, wow. And I found a bag with it, golf balls and everything. And we had a very small yard. Even though we lived out of the country, my great-grandparents lived right next door. So there was a fence in front. And so I put a golf ball down. My dad was at work. And I didn't know golf balls fly that quick. I hit it and I broke the front window.
Oh.
And I knew my dad was going to be pissed when he got home from work. So when I knew he was going to be there, I stood by the window and I waited for him to come. And he came, he looked at the window, looked at me. He goes, what happened? Then I pulled out the golf club that was behind me. So he gave me a lecture and everything like that, but he liked that I was being honest, and I told him I did it,
Yeah.
So the window was broken. During that night, we had a storm, and I was laying on the sofa, and during the night, and I don't know if it was a dream or if it actually happened or what, but the curtain was moving, of course, because a broken window is shaped like a half moon kind of. And in this dream, or if it did happen, I don't know. I was a kid, but there was this thing that came through the window, and it was next to my bed.
What do you mean a thing? What did it have? It description?
Little creature, gray alien, and I didn't know what it alien was.
Wait, whoa! We gotta get more details. A little thing, gray. I mean, let me try to refresh your memory. What did the eyes? Did it have big, the almond black eyes, or
almond black eyes? But like the way they show them I mean, I think there's different ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's definitely like some with like little slit eyes. Yeah, there's some like that. Some with very big eyes. Some with in between.
So it's a very big. It was bigger than mine.
Oh,
For sure, probably double the size.
Big
but
head?
It was, big head. But it was like a little. It was. How should I explain it?
Like how big was it?
Like a hybrid type thing.
Oh, okay.
It was small.
Like how small?
This one was only like maybe 3 feet tall.
3 feet and just came through the window?
Yeah, it crawled through them. Remember that window was
broken. So I think it had to be tiny then. Just like so, when it crawled in, did it crawl in like on all fours? Like it was like a spider was sticking to the wall? Like what?
No, it wasn't sticking to the wall.
I'm trying to get a visual. That's why, because I'm really trying to get a visual. This is very interesting.
Laying on the sofa, and then I heard the curtains moving. I'm looking at it. Then all of a sudden I see a hand.
Oh my God!
Then it crawled through. It came in and stood right next to the sofa, and I'm screaming bloody.
Oh my God!
And finally, it's looking at me. It didn't say nothing. It's looking at me. Then also my dad comes running out of the bedroom because he has to go through the kitchen. And as soon as he came in through the cloth curtain type thing, jumped out the window. And I told him there was a thing here. There was a creature. Because he goes, it's the wind. He goes, the wind making the curtain move. There's nothing there. But yes, there was. I'm screaming, crying, and everything. He goes, go back to sleep.
Wow.
And so, yeah, that's what happened that night.
So, when you say it jumped out the window, it like when it jumped, did it look like not normal for something that small just to jump over? Like, did it jump higher than normal? I mean,
it jumped sort of like a grasshopper.
That's
it went
so
being
crazy.
On the floor through the window. The window where it's broken, it's probably 4 feet tall.
Wow.
Probably about 4 feet tall. Yeah. And it went right through it quick.
Oh my God, that's so creepy. If I had a gun, I would have shot that thing. Oh my God.
How old were you then?
At the same time, I don't know if it was a dream and I was a kid, but that always stuck in my mind.
But
I didn't know what an alien was back then.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I don't think it was. I mean, it could have been in some kind of state that they had you in, kind of that in between REM sleep, but at the same time, you've never seen an alien before, and then when you finally saw one, probably on TV, it coincidentally looked like the one that you saw. I don't believe you were having an imaginary vision at all.
Yeah, it seems like.
And
it
then
was
after that, we had a puppet show at school. Okay. So we had to make a puppet. We used a light bulb, and then we put paper mache over it, and with glue. So we made the light bulb into a head, and I ended up making an alien's head, which I didn't know what an alien was.
Wow!
And I ended up making it, and we're on stage. There was a box in front of us, curtain and everything, and all these little kids inside it. And then the teacher was playing Monster Smash. And every time they say the graveyard smash, my puppet went up, everybody's went down. And then the song continued. Then I pulled mine back down, and the other kids put theirs back up. Yeah, it was a Monster Smash.
Monster Smash, all right.
Yeah, so, and then the teacher also asked me before the puppet show, she asked me, where did you get this idea from? I go, what? Well, what are you talking about? He goes, your monster. I go, I just made it. She goes, do you know what it looks like? I go, no. She goes, it looks like an alien.
That's trippy.
I go, what's a alien? She goes, have you ever seen an alien? I go, no.
Well, how far back was that? I mean, how many years ago was that?
That was probably, I was in 4th grade. They believe 4th grade or 5th.
So that was like what decade?
60, probably six. I'm 62.
Okay. So,
So this is probably 60, I don't know, 67, 68,
okay,
something like that.
okay. And Adolf, during that time, I don't believe aliens were, well, I guess there was Roswell, but it's not as prevalent as it is today, what they look like or may look like.
You know what's a
The
trip?
Roswell ones looked a little different. They kind of had like that gray alien look, but they had little slit eyes though. Remember?
Yeah.
Like little slit eyes instead of the big almond shape.
Hey, check this out. My dad was living in New Mexico during that time.
Wow.
Oh, wow, you have a lot of coincidence.
Jeez.
He heard about it when he was a kid,
Wow.
and his grandfather told him about it. And supposedly they drove in that area also. It was way later.
Okay.
But yeah, he told me about Roswell when I was a kid, because they came out on the news or something like that, some new evidence or something. I don't know. I was a kid, but that's
Right.
how that subject came up. That was a long time ago.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
But yeah, all kinds of strange things been going on during my lifetime.
Just really quick, you're not alone. Me and Dominic here, my father grew up on a very weird and very haunted ranch with very many different activities, from UFOs to demonic activity. But that's a whole nother podcast. We just want to let you know that we're right there with you, buddy.
Okay, cool.
We're right there with you. I'm not even joking on any level. This is why this is so interesting to me, because it's very similar in some ways so far. So far.
Yeah, it is. So what other weird things? You said other weird things.
Yeah,
you
what I
experienced.
want to hear is like, let's hear it.
Okay. As I was growing up, my dad had a brother named Gene.
Okay.
And what's a trip is that he looked a lot like James Dean.
Oh, okay.
He always had 55 Chevys, and every time he wrecked them, he had them parked in the farm. He had 4 of them, and they're all totaled. And but ended up they're going to the coast one time on Highway 152 east or west of 99, and it was foggy. Ended up there was a head-on collision. It was the fault of the other vehicle. He died, and it just happened to be that day of that accident of that night. We went to go see Sleeping Hollow at Drive-In,
Yeah.
Sunnyside Drive-In. And remember, the driveway is about 100 yards long or so, and 50 to 100.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And then as we're driving toward the house, my dad heard a whistle. We all heard it, and that's the same whistle his brother used to do to call my dad when he drives up. And it's so they could go by the cars and go drink beer and everything. And this is late at night. There was no sound. He ended up dying that same night.
Wow.
So when we were driving up the driveway, we heard the whistle that his brother was calling him.
Man.
And as soon as we got to the house, my grandmother came out and told us that Gene died 2 hours ago on a car wreck.
That's very, very crazy.
Yeah, it's also very
spiritual.
emotional too.
That's spiritual.
Yeah, that was big time.
Those are divine forces at work right there.
Yeah. We wanted to say goodbye, I guess,
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, sorry about that, brother.
Oh, it's cool. It's cool. Let me get to Hensley now.
Sure.
Hensley Lake. I had a girlfriend back then. I won't say her name. And we stopped at Pinedale's north of Fresno. Back then, there wasn't a lot of houses around that area. It was sort of like the way edge of town. And now it's all built up. There's houses everywhere, malls and everything. Anyway, we stopped at a liquor store. And back then, they used to sell wine coolers, a 4-pack.
Bartles and James?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, those are old school, man.
man.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, those are old school.
Hey, Adolf,
Yeah, the
I used to,
pink ones.
yeah, I used to buy those when I'd go out on dates, man. Bartles and James.
Man, only the girls used to drink those.
Those things were good.
Those are for the chicks, man. Come on, bro.
Yeah, but if you want to get something, you go along with it. Okay.
That's true too. Hey, but it's funny how you said. I remember exactly. Didn't they have one with the pink looking liquid?
That's the one.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Good stuff.
So we got a 4-pack, and from there, from Pinedale to Hensley, it takes about 45 minutes. You go north on 41, west on 145. Then I don't know, this small little road. It's only like 2 miles long. Then you get back on this road, you make a right, and you keep driving. It's curvy, and you finally get to the lake. But as we're going, we're almost to the dam. And the way I planned it is that once we both planned it. We got wine coolers. We're going to get there right when it starts getting dark so we can make out on the side of the road.
Wine coolers. Wine coolers is so funny, man.
Yeah, she liked wine coolers.
Hey, that was a go-to.
So we're getting close to the dam, and I noticed a light behind me. It was coming up pretty fast, and it was bright. And, a lot of times you could tell what kind of vehicle it is, or roughly if it's a truck, a car, a sport car, you could kind of tell what kind of headlights it is. But this was one single light, and I kept looking at the mirror. I go, that looks weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, and by the time we got to the dam, the sun was just going down over the hills, and it was, just getting dark a little. And that sucker was right behind me. And so I kept going. I was trying to shake him off a little bit. Not too bad, because I know the turnout's coming up pretty quick, within a mile and a half. So this thing was right on my butt. I mean, right behind the vehicle. And I was getting kind of pissed about that. So, and she was worried about that. Well, why is he so close, saying stuff. And so we made a left-hand turn. It's a big turnout. And there's gravel there, and you could hear the tires. Our windows were open, so as I was turning, you could hear the gravel. And all of a sudden, this thing turned also right behind us. But right when it was turning, I moved my mirror so I could look at him without, the angle where I'm at. So I grabbed her, and I go, let's pretend we're making out. So we put our heads together, but I'm looking at the mirror, seeing if anybody gets out of the vehicle. Nobody ever did. And this went on for a couple of minutes, and I started getting nervous. And she goes, what are they doing? Are they coming out? I go, no, the light's still there.
Is this light like a regular, like a standard looking car beam light, or is it brighter than usual? I mean, was there anything off about it besides that?
No, it's just one light.
Oh, okay.
Just the whole thing would just consume of one light. I couldn't figure it out. And you can see the body of the vehicle. Even when it was behind me, I couldn't make out the body at all. And so I still had the car on. And after, 2.5 minutes or so, I go, blank this. I go, we're gone. So I peeled out. And then she starts looking back. She's cussing. She was from New York. Okay. So they're good at cussing. So we're going down the road. I'm trying to outrun it. I'm going as fast as I could. And there's a dirt road right after the dam. There's a dirt road that takes you all the way back to Highway 41. It's a windy road. It's dirt. It's a shortcut. It's a good road. Just kick back, look at animals and stuff. You always end up seeing something. And we're going down that road, and next thing I know, it's like 11:30 at night.
Wow. We're
facing the opposite direction. We're about 30 feet away from a stop sign. My hands, when I woke up, my arms were across the steering wheel. her head was bent down all the way to her knee. She was real flexible. And so we both woke up at the same time. It's dark. My car's off, no headlights. And she looks at me. She starts screaming, "What the blank happened?" I go, "I don't know." And I'm trying to calm her down and everything. You know, she's screaming and crying at the same time. And so I'm trying to start the car several times. And it finally started. And she's still screaming and everything. "What happened?" You know.
Mm-hmm.
And it finally started. I got back on the road. I didn't even use that stop sign, of course. I just kept on going, and it's dark. And then we're going down the road, and she's crying and screaming. And then she noticed that there's a light above us.
Oh, wow.
And I had a Mustang. It was back then when the energy crisis.
Mm-hmm.
And the Mustang I had was made by somebody else, but it was a Mustang.
Mm-hmm.
It had only a 4-cylinder in there.
Okay.
It was gutless. It was gutless.
Yeah.
So we're going down the road, and she noticed that light up above us, and she's screaming and everything, and I'm trying to outrun it, and it's still following us, and I'm going like, and this road's curvy, and I was going as fast as I could. I looked at it one time. I was going to 85. After that, I didn't even look at it. I just kept on driving past. And then where I have to make a left down that dirt road, or the road that's about 2 miles long.
Mm-hmm.
I was going too fast. I hit the side of the corner of the embankment. Back then, those trees there, just above that. Now they got something else planted. And then I made a left, and then I thought I lost it. And as we were going, I looked to the left, those cornfields, and it's right above the cornfields. It's following us to the left of us.
Man.
Probably a couple hundred yards away. It was keeping the same speed as I was. Then when I got to Highway 145, it wasn't there no more. And so we made a left. I didn't even stop. I just slowed down. And this road is straight, but it's hilly.
Mm-hmm.
So you see the top of the hill, then you see, a little valley come up.
Right.
So you're going up and down, and, this road is straight. So you can see if there's other cars coming, then you don't see them, then you do. So I looked to the left, and I thought I'd lost this light. So we're going fast down this road, trying to get out of the country, basically.
Yeah.
And then there's a bridge coming up, and
You all right?
yeah, there's a bridge coming up, and we're going over it, and then we both look at each other because everything's going like slow motion, like we're driving through a jello
That's
type
weird.
substance.
What?
And we're looking at each other, and then we're at the end of the bridge. All of a sudden, we're back at the beginning of the bridge.
Whoa.
And she
Wait.
said,
What do you mean a jello light? Hold on, we gotta go back there, buddy. This is very crazy. So you were driving through a jello light. Was it a wall that you saw coming, or?
No, it was like driving through jello. You can't see it.
But you could kind of feel it slowing you down, I guess, or like hear it? Can you hear
like
it?
slow motion. It was quiet. Very
That
quiet.
sounds like some kind of like time lapse thing. That's so crazy.
Exactly.
I just really quick, I heard a podcast a couple days ago where some guy in the military, he said that he was in some black project, and he said a bunch of people were just stuck in this like jello like time, this slow time kind of thing, and people around him other people around him were normal, but it was weird, kind of like what you're saying.
That's weird. I never heard of anybody explain it that way before.
Brother, I will send it to you. I will send you that podcast later on out there so you could relate the story. It's a trip.
I've never heard that. Wow. I'm getting chills right now.
Yeah, dude. I swear, exactly what you're saying. He said it was like some kind of like time warp. Like some things were moving slow and other things weren't. It was weird.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
My steam monitor showed I was going fast because I just glanced at it, but I could see the needle itself was way up there.
Yeah.
So I couldn't really concentrate how fast I was. I just wanted to get the hell out of there. So we're back at the beginning of the bridge again, and she looks at me, and then we're over the bridge again, and we're back at the beginning 3 times.
Wow.
And then during
That's
that time,
wild.
she said the first time, didn't we? And then we're back at the beginning, pass. Then the third time, pass this bridge. Didn't we just pass this bridge? And we just passed it 3 times.
What were you feeling at that moment? Were you just like, oh my Lord, have mercy, what's going on? I started having a panic attack, brother. Honestly.
Yeah. And we're both so scared. And then right when we broke into that jail, seemed like we broke through it somehow, because you could feel the whole vehicle jerk a little.
Like it was like kind of getting out of it a little bit.
Yeah.
That's so weird. Kind of like that other guy's story. Man, that's so wild.
And as soon as we got out of it, there was this creature type thing on the passenger side.
What did it look like?
Yeah.
You got to tell us, man. When you say those things, my friend, you got to tell us. Like, that's all the
His head
details.
was a little bit above the hood.
What?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, well, the height wise.
Oh, okay.
Like the top of the hood. And we both seen it at the same time. And remember, we just broke through that jail. Okay, as soon as we broke that jail, that's when it's standing right in front of me.
It kind of sounds like to me like this thing was doing this with some kind of technology, and he's like,
Yes.
"Man, you don't listen. Stop!" And he's like, "Here, I'm gonna do it again."
And then it was only maybe 2 seconds, and then it was fast enough for her to say, "Hit that motherfucker."
Oh wow!
That's how fast.
Hey man, in those moments, I feel the same way. I'm ready to go.
I would have did the same
And
thing.
I end up hitting it.
Okay, good.
I-
Oh, you hit it? Oh wow!
Yeah, with my vehicle.
So when you hit it, did you feel like was it physical? Bah, did you feel the impact?
Yeah. It broke my signal light, part of the grill. It didn't bust my headlight, but the signal light it did. Part of the grill.
Blood?
No blood.
No blood. Body? The body
No
behind nothing?
skin, nothing. And see, remember, I was going so fast
Yeah.
that it bounced off the vehicle, and I slammed on my brakes, and I was going pretty fast. So when we finally stopped, she's screaming, "What the blank was that?" and all that. So I started backing up. She was yelling at me, "No, don't go back."
Yeah.
She's cussing and everything, and then I backed up all the way to the edge of the bridge. I got out and I looked, and I could see that thing limping,
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
going to a light around the bend of the dried up creek.
Did you go chase it?
No.
Oh, man, I would have go finish that thing off.
Did you get any
But,
any description of it? Was it wearing like
yeah,
a suit?
it had its arms up,
Okay.
like stop when it was standing there. Sort of like the rock thing I made at CourtRide, the rock
Right.
design,
Yeah, I saw
man.
that. Uh-huh.
Those arms were up like that.
Wow. That's so weird.
Did you notice any, like, if it was wearing like a suit or?
Butt naked? What was
No, it was if he was wearing a suit, it was skin tight and it wasn't shiny.
it wasn't shiny or it was shiny?
It wasn't.
Oh, so it was just like like a flesh color, like the gray color, or like a human flesh color?
No, more like trying to picture it right now. Sort of like light gray.
My
but
friend,
it
this
was
is
there was some dark areas to it.
this is the most
Another-
interesting, exciting story I've ever heard so
Yeah,
far.
it is. It is.
Yeah.
And we're only 33 minutes in, and you said you needed a long time. I
Yeah.
cannot imagine what more you can tell me in the next hour here.
Okay. I jumped back in the car
Okay.
And she's still crying and screaming and everything. And remember, I said the road is straight, but it's up and down. So we start going, jamming fast, and then I see a car light in front of me on top of the hill. As we're going, I go, oh, good. As soon as we pass this car, there'll be other humans around. I don't know why I said that, but I told her that.
Because you're like,
And,
there's no other, because you're only humans there. That's why.
yeah. And I don't know why I said that, but that's what I told her. And so I was trying to go faster so we could pass this vehicle, knowing that there's other people around. Ended up, this light wasn't a vehicle coming toward me. It was going the same speed I was in front of me.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
So it ended up, it was the alien craft that was in front of me.
What did it look like?
It was I just seen a bright light.
Oh, so it's just like,
I thought it was a headlight.
like if
It's like the light I'd seen at the lake.
okay, so if it's like, okay, I understand it's a light, but if you could, kind of like, like for example, if I saw, a glowing orb, I'm going to assume at the very most it's a sphere. Like, did it have an oval shaped light? Was it big as a car? Was it wide? Was it just a perfect circle? Like what?
It's, you know what? Now that you mention it was brighter than an orb.
Brighter than, okay.
Yeah, because the light itself was stretching itself like a headlight, but not as much.
Personally, really quick, just my opinion. I've been, hearing a lot of these stories. I've been, looking into this stuff for a decade. And I personally think those are some kind of drones, some kind of technology they use to follow you or observe you or something. That's what I think.
Yeah. So this happened for about, 20 miles. Me trying to catch up to the light, and I thought it was a vehicle during that time. I didn't know it till later that it was actually their vehicle. So when I hit that thing, it probably went in that craft, went around, which I didn't see, and got in front of me. Remember, there's about 20 miles before I get to Highway 41. So somehow it zipped in front of me after I hit it, and I'm sure they're a lot faster than I am.
Oh yeah, I think it was playing with you.
Yeah, so it went in front of me, and I couldn't catch up to this light, which I thought it was a car during that time. But before we got to Highway 41, about 2 miles away, it went across this field. It went straight up. Then I finally figured out it wasn't a car.
That's not. Oh, okay. Now it's not a car. I would have been in shock. How did you feel at that moment? Like that's something right there that because like I said, I've had some strange things happen to me, and when that moment happens, when you find out it's something out of the ordinary, I always get that feeling that my heart is dropping into my freaking stomach or something.
Yeah, I mean, we're in shock basically. Okay, now let me backtrack. When we was awoken, I think they woke us up.
Okay.
And when we're by that stop sign, when we woke up in the car, okay, as time went on, we started having the same nightmares. And it was probably within 3 weeks, a month.
After the event of that light?
Yeah, the event, we started having nightmares. And we started remembering more, and our dreams were the same.
What were any details?
Yeah.
From the beginning?
After I made the left-hand turn down that dirt road, we continued probably about 2 miles. And I was trying to outrun that light. All of a sudden, the light was gone. And I felt a little better. I slowed down. And there's a creek on the right-hand side, it's only runs, probably during the spring, and there's all kinds of granite boulders, and so I could hit it with the headlights as I was turning because it was dark already, and I could see all the granite rocks and everything. And then we finally got on a little straightaway off that turn. All of a sudden, there's aliens on the road.
Oh, wow.
Wait, aliens? Like how many?
Well, let me describe it this way. They're on the road. There was one that was taller.
The main one.
The main one. He's the one that was doing all the talking. You could see it that it was coming from him. Ended up, he was a hybrid. He had thin, blondish hair.
Oh, wow. Classic description, my friend.
And his eyes were a little smaller, and he was wearing some type of suit.
Oh my God! What did the suit look like?
Whitish.
Oh my God!
But he also had a tie on, kind of. It's weird. I got a drawing of it.
Brother, really quick. We got to take a little 45-second break, a little bathroom break. Can you stop? Like, hold your thought right there. I want to come back and start on the description of the suit. That is awesome, okay? So just stay on the line. It'll be at the minute the most, okay?
Go for it.
Thank you.
I'll get some water also.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay.
Break time at the Sabbath at midnight. We'll be right back.
This is a great story.
If you're enjoying this episode, please like and share. Follow us on Instagram, Sabbath at Midnight, and on Facebook, the Sabbath at Midnight Podcast.
Where have you been searching all along, confessing while alone without a clue, without a sign, without grasping it. The real question to be asked: where have I been? I'm a sharpshooter, I ghost masquerade, hiding both face and mind, all free for you to draw. I'm a sharpshooter, what else should I be? Please don't take off my mask, revealing dawn.
Alrighty, are we back?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Okay, let me just get settled in real quick. My God, this is a good story, Adolf. Why did we find you sooner? All right, so
Exactly.
okay, so let's put the music down. So really quick, let's just do a little recap. So the last thing we heard was that you saw a bunch of aliens standing in the road, and out of all of them, there's a taller one. And really quick, how tall do you think it was?
The tallest one was probably about five feet.
Oh, about 5. Okay, so these little ones are like really little then. And
Yeah, they're the height of his shin.
okay, so let's get back into the description. You said it was a hybrid. It had blonde or white stringly hair, and besides that, did it have more human characteristics? Maybe because most of these things don't have a nose. Maybe it had a nose or lips or etc.
Yeah, he had a small nose, and it was bigger than the rest of them.
Like a little button
The other
nose.
ones, yeah, it was small. It just looked too perfect for being small.
Like that angelic nose. I know what you're talking about. Kind of like what's that movie called, Dominic? The Who's?
Mm-hmm.
With the Grinch, the little Who noses?
Yes.
That's exactly what that little nose. I know what you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of like flattish,
Yeah.
But
Weird.
everything's the right size for that thing. So right away, I thought he was a hybrid of some type, especially the scrawny, thin hair, because I could actually see his skull.
Like it was balding?
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
but he's standing on the road, and he has all these other little small ones.
And the suit, really quick, I'm sorry to stop you. You said he had a suit on. I want to get back to that. What did the outfit look like?
Okay, it's tight around the neck, like a bodysuit, or sort of like a turtleneck.
Okay.
But it's not thick like a turtleneck. It's just tight.
Just
sort of
tight,
like a t-shirt, but
I'm
it's
kind of getting like a Fantastic Four kind of suit, right? Fantastic Four, the Marvel. It's just like a spandex suit from the neck all the way down.
yeah. I never seen that movie.
Oh no, it's a comic book.
I didn't go to the theaters.
No, yeah, I mean, Fantastic Four is an old school comic book, man. Like the 50, anyways. But yeah,
Yeah, it's like a bodysuit, I
Yeah.
guess, and it's tied around the neck, but it's a lot higher than like our t-shirts. It's like halfway up the neck.
okay.
Okay, it's all tight.
Color.
Sir, the little smaller ones, they're more like a light grayish color, but it was a suit because you could see that line. They're not naked. For some reason, I think that suit it keeps their body in place.
Yeah. something.
Some kind of pressurized that their body won't fall apart.
Yeah, I even have a theory that these things are bio. They're like bio engineered robots. Like they're bio robots. Instead of being made out of metal and wires, they're made out of lab grown material. Flesh material.
Like they're made out of a greenhouse type thing.
Exactly, but just yeah, I completely agree with you with that. I have that same kind of theory.
Okay, so the engine stops, and we could see him. She's screaming. Then they start walking toward us. We're in the vehicle. We lock our doors. We wrapped our arms together, my right, her left. We hooked them up together, and they start walking to my vehicle. There's two or three of them standing next to my door. The other ones walked around her door. She's screaming, she's crying, and
Are they just kind of looking to the window, or are their hands banging on
they're
there?
not saying nothing. But the taller one, I glanced at him. He said, "We are not going to harm you."
He said that the voice or telepathically?
Mentally.
Wow.
Mentally, he told me that.
Really quick, is there like a voice to this mental voice? Like, is it deep? Because I could, if I want to, hear my dad's voice in my head, I could still hear his tone. Did it have a tone?
Stern voice.
Very stern, like, we're not here to hurt you type of thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they finally opened her door. They pulled her out.
Oh, my God.
So I looked at that. I go, oh, well.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God.
Yeah, well, I opened the door
Yeah.
so I could get out. I'm not going to let her go by herself.
Oh, okay.
So, I opened up the door handle. It unlocked. They opened the door. I unlocked it. And but they unlocked hers. So I got out. They walked her in front of the vehicle, and I was walking at an angle. They had her going straight toward me, and this guy kept saying, "We are not here to harm you. We're not here."
Are there hands on you physically when they're walking, her or you? Were they physically touching you?
They're holding her.
And I'm assuming these things are pretty strong for their size, right?
Yeah, they are.
Wow, that's really weird. They're so small and like frail. How are they so dang strong?
Yeah, and ended up. I remember listening to him, and then I looked to the right, and down the embankment, which goes down about 25 feet, where that small little creek I told you about, Seasonal Creek, ended up there's an acorn UFO sitting out there among the granite boulders.
An acorn UFO, that's crazy. We kind of seen one out here, that Bell one kind of resemblance, kind of you. We saw one really quick that looked like that. We'll get into it later. I don't want you to lose track of this. The story you're telling us is too good, so go ahead and continue.
It ended up that acorn shape had some kind of, you couldn't directly see where the light was coming from, but there's a glow in that area. Ended up there was other human beings sitting on the boulders.
Wow.
They were not moving, but the aliens were walking around.
What, were they wearing anything? Like the humans, were they like in kind of uniform?
They're regular people wearing different clothes and everything like that.
Did it kind of seem like maybe they were like mind controlled and just kind of stuck in a trance?
Yeah, they're not walking, but they're just
There.
like zombies. They're not moving.
That's they're in some kind of trance or something.
Yeah, they're just docile.
Yeah, this is not the first. Like everything you're saying is just. I mean, it just puts more proof to everybody else's story. There's no way everybody has the same story of people that don't know each other. For example, that one time thing that I told you about from the military guy. Like, there's no way, like, you never heard that before, and he doesn't know you, you don't know him, and you have the same description of some weird time warp. I mean, come on. Come on.
I never heard of anybody else describing that jelly, type substance.
Oh, my brother, I'm gonna get I'll send it to Javier. When we're done with this, I'm gonna have him send it to you. So you check it out.
Okay, cool. And then I remember us turning in an angle toward, because I glanced down at that acorn-shaped thing like, oh. And then we kind of like start walking, and I only took a couple of steps. We didn't remember nothing after that till late, we woke up in the vehicle, opposite direction. So I don't know what happened once we start walking down that incline, or the acorn UFO. So that part I'm lost. I don't know, and I don't know if I want to remember what happened.
Yeah, I blame you, brother.
So so in dreams that started happening, and it was matching up. I mean, we're remembering bits, bits and pieces, and then we start adding up everything together. And what's a trip is that we started having sort of like a strawberry, skin of a strawberry with little holes on there, little seeds.
Wait, what? Wait. We had what?
Okay, like a regular strawberry.
Okay, what about a strawberry?
Okay, without the seeds, but you got little holes in there.
Yeah.
Okay, the skin of that, I had one, and my ex-girlfriend had one right above our belly button.
Wait, what? Okay, so your skin was actually like, it looked like the way a strawberry did, or was strawberry on you?
No, it looked like it.
Okay.
Ended up, it did something to us, and that's a scar that we got after that. It went away.
Oh, you went away. I was about to say, do you have a picture of that, or is it still there?
What's that?
No, I was just about to ask you, do you have a picture of it, or or do you still have it? But you just answered that. You said it went away.
Back then, I didn't want to show people,
Oh yeah, hey buddy, I understand. Like I said, man, the stuff that happened on the ranch we lived on, and if I would have told people what I've been through, I probably wouldn't have too many friends.
But it's really bad.
Yeah.
It took a while for it to heal up, and then it'll heal, and then it'll come back again, then heal. But I haven't had one. Probably 15 years now. So, it's gone already. But what's a trip is that my girlfriend, she lived right next door to me with her mom. They moved from New York City, and they ended up moving right next door. But I actually met her mom and her boyfriend first. So the mom told me, hey, I got a daughter coming over here. Maybe you could show her around. So ended up, we got along, and so most of the time she was at my house. So she had her clothes over and everything like that. And so after that incident, one night we're sleeping in our bedroom, and then all of a sudden there's an alien standing right next to the bed.
Oh my
side.
Jeez, brother.
Screaming, and I woke up, and I didn't see it at that time. And I go, what? What's going on? I go, why are you screaming? People think I'm probably hitting you or something.
Exactly.
What? I go, did you have a nightmare or what? She goes, it was standing right there. I go, what do you mean? What are you talking about?
Like at the edge of the bed?
Yeah.
Like at the feet of the bed, or like right on the right of her? Oh,
right
that's
next
the worst.
Looking down at her.
Oh my God.
That is frightening.
And remember, I didn't see it.
I would think you would have a gun under your bed at this point already, man. I'd be so ready to go. That's too many times already.
Yeah, so that happened. And then, so I finally calmed her down. I told her she was having a nightmare because I didn't see it. It ended up, it was gone as soon as I woke up. And so
Okay.
maybe she seen something. Maybe she was having a nightmare. What happened? I don't know. But she said it was next to her. Okay. So, you know, I finally calmed her down, went to sleep and everything. And then probably a couple of weeks later, we're back in the bedroom. Then all of a sudden, there was a glow on the wall. There was a portal
Ooh.
type thing. And it was coming through the wall.
What color was it? The light?
The light was probably 7 feet tall by 5.5 feet wide.
No, but the color of the portal,
Oh, the color.
the light, the glow. There's usually like a glow to it, or
Yeah.
sometimes it's just black.
No. This was best way to describe it. You know, a yellow yolk of an egg.
Yeah. That really yellow. Yeah.
It was like that.
Wow. And really quick.
White on the outside.
Yeah. When you told me that about how your wife had that, she woke up with the gray standing at the side of her bed. I told Dominic about this. I had a similar one where I woke up the same way, screaming. And at the time, I was living with my ex fiance, and the same kind of thing, except I was the one that was having it, and she was the one that was thinking I'm weird. So I woke up, and my grandfather, okay, get this, my grandfather that I'd never seen before in his early 20s was standing next to me, looking down at me. And I immediately knew it was him, but even though I never seen him that young, he's passed away already. But even though that, you know, I didn't know, even though I knew that was him younger, because I just sensed it, I knew it wasn't him. And I swear to you, right behind him, 3 little portals opened up and 3 gray alien heads popped out and were just staring at me.
Whoa.
And I was freaking out. I was like in a sleep paralysis, you know, I couldn't move. And when I finally, you know, jumped out of it, you know, I was like, oh my God, you know, and my ex-fiance at the time was like, what's wrong with you? What are you screaming about? I was like, you know, I told her what happened. I was freaking out. I was like, I saw my grandpa, but it wasn't him. There's 3 aliens. She's like, what'd you do? Did you take anything? I'm like, oh my God, I didn't take nothing. But she didn't believe a word that I said. And it was so like traumatizing to me. I drew it. I drew the whole thing down that day on a piece of paper, and I still have it to this day.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I still got drawings.
Yeah, man, you have to draw them right when they happen. I don't think they're dreams. I think it's some kind of in-between kind of conscience they try to get you in. I don't know, but I just wanted to share that with you because it sounds kind of like what your wife went through. But go ahead. We left off with the portal opening up, and it looked like
she
the
was
color.
the girl. She wasn't my wife.
Oh, okay. My bad. Sorry.
Yeah. But also, you just reminded me, when you woke up, same thing happened to me in high school when I was in 10th grade. Woke up in the morning to get ready to go to work. I always sleep with my window open back then, no matter how cold it was.
Yeah.
Always sleep with my window wide open. And one morning, I was going to get ready to get up, go to school. I couldn't move. I was paralyzed.
That's the worst feeling.
And I had to scream for my mom. And she came in. She goes, "What's wrong?" I go, "I can't move. I can't move. Mom, what's wrong?" And so she started massaging my legs, my arms. And I finally got tingly feelings. And finally, I was able to move. Probably about 20 minutes it took.
Wow, that's crazy.
So you just reminded me when you talked about when you said that.
Oh, I think it's all related. I mean, you don't. Who knows what happened to you when you were a kid? You know, maybe something did happen to you. And you don't remember those parts. You know.
Right.
But yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. I forgot. I'm sorry to get you off track. I just really thought that story was so close to mine.
Oh.
But yeah, we left off with the portal, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that second time, we seen something walking out. She slept naked. And she runs out the door. I'm going after her. They're coming out of the portal. I slam the door behind me. She runs out the front door.
Wow.
We live in an apartment complex. She
So
screams.
everybody's.
And I'm running behind her. I got nothing on.
Who knows what the neighbors are thinking?
and I'm chasing her.
Yeah.
And oh man, lights were coming on. This was late at night. They probably thought I was going to rape her.
That's what I
Or
was about to
something.
say. That I was about to call the cops on your ass.
So
Wow.
she ran all the way to the road, and I finally caught up to her, and I had to carry her. And she's screaming, her arms are moving, legs were kicking, and everything. And both of us are naked, And I finally got her back into the apartment and everything like that. And we never went back in that bedroom again.
I was going to say, how could you even walk back into the apartment?
Yeah, I mean, we had no clothes. We had to get something.
Yeah, well, that's true too. But man, I would take precautions. I would be like looking around the corner. I mean,
Oh, we were.
Yeah.
And so we never went back into the apartment. We end up buying. I ended up buying new clothes and everything because
I don't blame
everything
you.
was in the bedroom.
I would have done the same thing, buddy.
So
So,
we didn't
did you ever,
sleep in that bedroom for about a year and a half, year and a half, something like that. And we're still getting the red marks, above our belly button, comes and goes, and it itches real bad. We're always putting lotion on it, but we could hear them in the bedroom, moving stuff around. But for some reason, they didn't have the knowledge to open up a door. That's what was kind of weird about it.
that's another thing too that me and Dominic have heard too a lot, that these grays, like or whatever they are, grays, whatever you want to call them, like how you said, like, they have all this technology to open portals and all this great, these great technological feats, but they can't open the door.
Yeah.
And so another thing too that I hear a lot with abductees is that, for example, when if they're going out of the way to make a portal to your room and do these time warps, they're probably doing it because they want to be, in covert. If not, they would just land in the front yard with everybody looking, walk in your room and pull you out kicking and screaming. They're trying to be sneaky, right? But like a lot of things that I hear with with these people that get abducted is that when they get, wherever they get after they got taken and wherever they get left at, they'll notice like maybe their shirt will be put on backwards or inside out, or they'll have two different shoes on, completely two different pairs of shoes, stuff like that. Like it's almost like they don't have a concept on what's the word I'm looking for. They don't have a concept on like human common sense. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, I get what you're saying though. It's like they're very smart in some things, but yet the most simple things can just throw them off.
Who knows? They could be colorblind.
Yeah, that too.
But so yeah, we no longer went in that room whatsoever. And you could hear them in there, but after a while, we didn't. It goes, oh, they're back.
Wow.
That's so weird.
That's scary.
Yeah, we just slept in the living room and the floor.
So they're just in the room, just moving stuff around.
Yeah.
And when was this? Like, what year was this around? What year? 19 what?
Well, I was 28 at that time. So I was born in 1962.
Almost my dad's age. So there wasn't really
1990.
Yeah, there wasn't really like no way to get like a nice little camera and slip it under the door or anything like that.
No.
And it sounds like
Not
too
at all back then.
that strawberry rash you both had is, for me, that sounds like they were extracting cord blood, stem cells.
Or another thing too, they're very obsessed with extracting what do you call it?
Ova and
sexual,
sperm.
can't say the word now, reproductive material like sperm and eggs, and coincidentally, it just happens to be in that area.
Okay, so after that, our relationship, started going downhill, because what happened, and it just started just going bad after that. But before that happened, we were still sleeping in the living room, and we used to walk down to the store around the corner, and we're walking one time, ended up they're hiding behind the shrubs, the aliens.
Oh
Man, they're following you everywhere.
God,
They
these things
came
are
out.
creepy. God.
Yeah, they came out and they started going toward us, and not in a walking motion, more like a skipping type thing.
Oh, heck no. What do you mean
Speed-wise, it's like
skipping?
sort of like a walking pass, but
Like power walking?
Yeah. That's a better explanation.
I was going
on
to say,
it.
skipping is even more creepier. Oh my, if I saw a freaking alien skipping at me.
No, it's like
Oh
power
my
walking. Not what I was trying to describe the speed of it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Okay, you're right. Speed walking.
Yeah.
And so she's running down the street again, and I'm running behind her once again. And she's screaming bloody murder. People are yelling out of the car, leave her alone, let her go. And those several cars that were saying comments like that. And we finally got to the store and everything. She's crying again. And oh, God, it took me a while to calm her down. And yeah, those suckers are following us. They're hiding. They're after us big time. And so we finally went back to the apartment and everything like that. And she ended up leaving during that night, went back to her mom's house for that night because she was so scared. So, yeah, I just stayed there by myself. And then she had to go take a physical. And ended up, the doctor told her that she had scar tissue, that she had abortion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Jeez.
Wow.
And but ended up she never got an abortion. She started cussing at the doctor, and because she was bleeding a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And when they checked her, they said, there's evidence you had an abortion. They kind of looked at her like, that's why you're bleeding. And she started, because I never had a blank abortion. And then she looks at me, she goes, it's your fault. It's your fault. What happened? And that's because they took something from her when we were at Hensley, after all.
Oh my God.
That's sad. I'm sorry.
Man, that's
So and we didn't know,
Of course not.
And so the relationship started going really bad after that.
well, that's
and then,
really tough.
But before the Hensley thing and everything, me and her went to Whiskey Falls. It's northeast of Fresno, probably about 2-hour drive. And there's this little creek, and I end up soaking some tri-tip.
Yes.
And so I marinated and everything. So we took it up there, put it in the ice chest. We cooked it over there, little stream going across, probably about 10 feet wide. And she's in her bikini. It's during the summertime and everything. And we ate. As soon as we got done eating, we fell asleep. And we got there probably about 1:30, 12:30, 1 o'clock, 1:30, somewhere in there. But so it took the tri-tip probably about 45 minutes to cook on a little barbecue.
Yeah.
And a barbecue stove. And then we ended up waking up later on, right when it was getting dark. We don't remember falling asleep. I woke up, I grabbed everything, put it in the car, and I couldn't get her to wake up. So I had to pick her up and put her inside the vehicle. And she didn't wake up till we're halfway down the road, halfway to Fresno. And we both of us had a bad headache. She'll say, what happened? Why did we fall asleep? I go, I don't know. I don't know what happened. And, but see, this was before Hensley. We didn't think nothing about aliens or anything like that.
Right.
So I don't know if there's a relationship with that, if they took us back then. We didn't see one vehicle during that whole day while we were there, at least while we were awake.
Strange.
There was no vehicles. But yeah, that always caught us kind of weird.
Yeah, that's very
And we
strange.
didn't know what happened. So, yeah, so years go by and everything. She went her way, I went my way. And so I was telling my friend Ken about what happened in Hensley. You know, he really didn't believe me. God, I just ate off saying his stories, you know.
Mhm.
And out of all people, I was glad he was with us. What happened at CourtRide?
The non-believer.
Because, you know, he goes, oh, that just ate off saying his stories, you know. But yeah, so we're going to meet up at CourtRide. He left early. He got the campsite. Of course, the date is 10/11/02, same as the movie. We use that as a title. So it was I left on a Friday, got off early from work at 12 o'clock. I went to go pick up Kenneth. And so we packed up and everything. Kenneth lived around the block away from me. And so he was all ready after I packed up all my stuff, my Forerunner. We go pick him up. So he was all glad to go. You know, he likes getting away. He likes going up the mountains, and he needed time to, you know, go up. So his girlfriend, you know, kissed him goodbye and everything. And only thing wrong, I really didn't want to go camping whatsoever. I had a bad feeling. I did not want to go. You know, I was telling Kenneth, you know, I got a bad feeling something's going to happen. I can't, I don't want to go,
Right.
but I have to go because Kenny is waiting for us over there, Kenny. And, I call him Ken. And, so I don't want him waiting for us out there, you know, us not showing up, you know, I need to go, but I really don't want to go at all. So we end up showing up there at CourtRide, and before we get to the campsite, and we're probably up about 8,500, almost 9,000 feet.
Wow, that's high up.
And right before the campsite, I crank up AC/DC because he knows I like that group, so he could hear from a distance that I'm coming. You know, it'll echo through the mountains. And we drove up. As soon as we opened the door, he was going, man, what took you guys so long? You know, I was hearing all kinds of weird things. You know, there's somebody there. He goes, I don't know. He goes, it was just weird. You know, I'm glad you guys made it. And so, you know, we talked a little bit, set up our camp and everything like that. And but Kenny was really happy to see us. You know, he kept saying there was something there, and I couldn't see nothing. Because I didn't know what else to do. You know, just
Right.
looking around.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, set up his tent and everything, and so he drank some few beers. It was cold. It's cold, and I got there late. So I mean, we were drinking beer, but nothing to get drunk or anything like that. It was too cold anyway.
Yeah.
You know, this is in October.
Oh wow.
You know, in the evening, you're up at almost 9,000 feet. It's cold.
I bet.
Mhm.
And so the campsite where we're at, it's away from all the other campsite. We're past the dam, and it's a lone campsite, and you don't have to pay or anything. And you know, we may get a little loud, so we never camp at campsite. We don't want people to complain. So Ken, he wasn't feeling too good. You know, he was tired. He got there a lot earlier than we did. So he went to sleep. He was all comfortable. He couldn't wait to go to sleep. So me and Kenneth stayed up a little longer, grabbed a beer, went out in the road. And I was telling Kenneth that there used to be a glacier on the other side of the mountain. Over the years, it's been getting smaller and smaller, and one of these days it's gonna be gone.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, we're looking at that direction. All of a sudden, we see a light. We both look at it. I go, that's strange.
What was the shape of it?
Whatsoever. It's all quiet. Nobody around us. So I went to the vehicle. We'll go get a flashlight. So I flashed it 3 times, and it's coming toward us.
Wow.
And it's probably a good 2 miles away, but it's making a beeline right toward us.
Did you get scared?
Yeah.
Were you a little nervous now at this point?
Yeah, got the flashlight. I flashed it 3 times, and then I flashed it toward. I put the beam of light toward the kid's tent.
Oh, wow.
Look at me! Look at him!
In a jokingly way, right?
And I did that as a joke because, I thought it was gonna be a plane or or a helicopter that's not making no noise, but we knew it wasn't no helicopter. We didn't, at first we didn't think it was a UFO or anything like that. Just playing the game, flashing a light at it and then send it toward Ken, the light beam. And then all of a sudden a beam went down from that object.
Mm.
And it's coming toward us. And then all of a sudden it made its right around a big granite dome. And you couldn't see it no more. And so it went around. So, and we started getting codes like, oh, forget this. I go, I don't know what the hell that was. And Dennis, he goes, that's a UFO. I go, I don't know what that was. I go, I don't know.
Seems like a big weapon or
Well,
something.
it didn't make no noise. Okay, it probably was. But it was no really big thing. That was what's weird about it.
Is this a white light or?
And we went back to the campsite, standing by the fire because it's really cold. And I started up my vehicle because I sleep back my phone runner. I want a heater on before I go to bed.
Oh, yeah.
And so Kenneth went into his tent, finally got settled in, turned off his light. I finally turned off my vehicle, had my bed set up in the back, and crashed out. And then during the night, we started hearing this weird shattering sound, kind of. You could hear the direction it's coming from. I'm looking out the window, but there's nothing there. All of a sudden, it jumps on the other side. It's like when you wear a nylon jacket or a raincoat.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, that noise.
That switching sound.
Yeah, when it's rubbing together. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a sound that we're hearing.
That's so weird. Like a suit, someone walking around maybe.
Yeah, but it didn't sound like legs. It's I can't describe it. I don't know what that sound was, but it was moving around and you could hear it at different directions after a while. It wasn't just one all of a sudden walking and making a noise. They were just everywhere. And I couldn't figure out what it was. I didn't know they could hear it, but ended up they did. I thought I was the only one that was hearing it at first. Ended up all 3 of us were hearing it at the same time. And it was weird. Then there was a mechanical sound several times, like a CD player opening up.
Wow. That's very weird.
Sound
along with that other noise.
Yeah.
That's so weird, and it just sounds like it's circling where you're at. It's just circling around you.
Wow.
But what was that switching sound? We couldn't. It was weird. I mean, I sat up. I looked out the windows. I could hear the direction it's coming from. It's not there. That campfire's burning big.
But you never know. You could not. If you had a night vision or something, Maybe you had some kind of infrared. They could be hiding under a different spectrum.
Yeah. So we're hearing all that, and then next thing I know, I fell asleep, and
Hello?
yeah, I'm just picturing everything.
Oh, no, sorry.
that's
sorry,
okay.
sorry.
Take your
Oh, sorry.
time.
No, I just thought we went
And
out.
during the night, I heard a zipper, and it woke me up. It's so quiet you could hear everything.
Zzz.
So I heard a zipper open up, entered up, it was Kenneth. He got up, and he was going to throw a log in the fire, and he was going to swing it in there, and then he stopped. And he looks to the right. He's only like 2.5 feet, 3 feet away from my vehicle. And I'm sitting up. I could see him. He can't see me because my windows are tinted. And then I heard him as clear as day. He goes, that's what you do. You hide in the shadows. All of a sudden, he drops that log. He starts walking parallel to the driver's side of the vehicle from the back bumper to the front. I'm sitting up. I'm looking at him. I'm turning my neck as he's going, and he hits probably the driver's side window. And I fell asleep.
Wow.
Why would I fall asleep?
Yeah.
Uh,
This is the moment of truth.
yeah, I fell asleep. And then I guess he kept on walking or whatever. And then the next morning, I heard him waking up. I opened up the door. I go, Kenneth. I go, where did you go last night when you said, that's what you do? You hide in the shadows. He goes, I seen something small hide behind the tree. I go, what was it?
Oh, my Lord.
No, I just woke up. So
Wow.
the whole night was a roller coaster. You're up, you're asleep. You're up, and you're asleep.
Whatever these things are like knocking you out or something,
Yeah.
or they're erasing your memory or something.
And what was missing on that movie that I want to bring up, during that night, I had to take a piss. So I opened up, you drink some beers. You got to do what you got to
Yeah,
do.
a couple pistos. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got out of the vehicle, and that's all I remember is opening up the door, stepping out. Next thing I know, I'm probably a good 75 feet away from the vehicle. And I don't know if I actually, took a piss or not, because I woke up.
Oh,
No,
That's
I woke
wild.
up, and I'm barefooted.
Wow.
I woke up standing up, and I go, what the hell am I doing here? And I turned around. I took one step, and Duff in the forest, you got all the bark and
Wow.
needles and everything.
Mhm.
I took one step. I went, oh man. So I start walking really slow back to the vehicle, and I'm thinking, why didn't I feel all this on the bottom part of my feet as I was walking over here?
Mhm.
And what happened? How did I get so far away from the vehicle without feeling nothing on my feet? So they might have pulled me out, which I thought I had to take a piss because I don't remember taking a piss. I just woke up standing up. My pants are still buttoned up. So why didn't I feel all that duff underneath my feet as I walked on the way back? I felt every little single thing, the bottom part of my feet. And I was
Wow.
barefooted, and it's cold.
Wow. Definitely mind control going on there.
that's so. And you didn't feel anything else other than that.
Yeah, I just walked back to vehicles, crashed out, and then during the night, I woke up because there's a glow. And I sat up, and the glow's behind Ken's tent. I go, that's weird. I go, what is that? What I'm thinking. And the light was in front of branches. So I could see the branches of the branches shadow hitting the tent.
Right.
Okay, so it's getting closer and closer. Then all of a sudden I stop seeing the shadows. Then all of a sudden I see a little creature type thing behind his tent.
Again,
See the
really
shadow?
quick. Same thing, a little gray?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's behind his tent. I'm looking at it, go, oh man. Next thing I know, I fell asleep.
Again.
Fell asleep again.
Buddy, drinking too much. No, I'm just messing with you. I'm
no,
messing
sir.
with you. No, I'm messing with you.
There wasn't even time to
even
we-
enjoy
late.
yourself, I bet. I wouldn't even be able to enjoy myself while that was happening.
Yeah. And so I'm seeing that. I fell back to sleep. And why would anybody fall asleep at that moment anyway?
Exactly.
And but I could see Ken. He's sitting down on his cot. And I could see the whole outlining of his body before I crashed out. Okay, so that happened. And then later on during the night, I felt the vehicle move side to side, and I thought it was an earthquake.
Hmm.
So I sat up, looked at my friend's tent, see if they turned on a flashlight or something. Nobody got up. There was no movement whatsoever. I go, that's weird. And then I felt it again. And those probably shaking between the first time and the second time, probably about 6 seconds. When the vehicle stopped moving, then 6 seconds later, then it moved again. But I looked to the side and to the back, looked on my right side. I didn't see nothing. That's weird. The campfire's still going. So I never did look to the front of the windshield. So we woke up in the morning. I opened the door. Ken, he's wide awake. I looked at him. I go, what the blank happened last night? He goes, I'm out of here. He goes, we're so happy to see the sun. I mean, I remember telling Ken I could have kissed the sun.
I bet.
We're so happy that it was daylight. I mean, there was nothing like the sun whatsoever. We're, you know,
Pure relief.
yeah.
Pure relief.
But what's weird about it? Okay, that was the second night, the second morning that Ken woke up.
Okay.
After the first night, after the 10th thing that I seen Ken, we got up in the morning like, okay, let's go fishing. Like nothing happened whatsoever. We didn't discuss what happened during that whole day, except in the morning a little, but it was no biggie, whatsoever.
That's weird.
And then the second night, well, when the vehicle moved, that was the second night. And because in the morning when Ken was packing up his vehicle and everything, he was out of here, and he packs really, really neat, a lot better than I do. And everything's organized. This time he just threw everything in the bag, put a tarp on it, boom, he's gone. And Kenneth ended up waking up. He goes, "Where's Ken?" He goes, "We're gone. We're leaving also." I go, "We're not staying one more night. Blank this place." So Kenneth started putting his tent together. I'll be taking it apart and everything. And I started doing everything. And then I was going to check the oil and oil and water on the vehicle. So as I was opening up the hood, I looked. There's a strange handprint.
Ooh.
I go, that's weird.
How many fingers?
5.
Okay.
Yeah, 4 fingers, 1 thumb.
Okay.
But ended up, the thumb starts at your wrist area.
Oh, wow. That's weird.
It loops around, and like our thumb is actually the top of their thumb.
Our thumb is the top of their
extension.
thumb. Oh, sorry.
So our thumb is top of their extension of their finger. That's a thumb.
That's
Because it's
disgusting.
coming out of the wrist
Yeah.
area.
That's gross.
It is.
And it was weird. Between the fingers is 90-degree angle. If you look at it with a magnifying glass, because I took my Ken's brother took a photo of it, and he has nice cameras. He does that, part time as a job for weddings and everything. So he has real good cameras. And if you look at it with magnifying glass, you can see little suction cups at the ends.
Well, that's
And it was
strange.
weird. And anyway, so I told Kenneth, did you make this handprint right here? He goes, no, I did. Seriously. I go, no. I go, you put your hand on the hood. I go, I want to make sure you didn't make this handprint. The only thing wrong, his handprint, only thing it did was move the dust out of the vehicle. This handprint had like honey residue on it.
Ugh.
I was imprinted into the vehicle itself.
Like the thing was slimy or
You could
something,
put your
right?
finger across it, and you could feel the groove.
Oh, juicy.
Yeah, it was juicy, man.
You should have got a little sample of that stuff.
Well, at that time, we wasn't thinking, we
Yeah,
didn't.
I know. I'm just, yeah.
So,
Wow.
and so I had him put his handprint. It didn't match up whatsoever. So I had him, and he's ready cussing at me because I don't believe him. So he goes, and I go, draw it out with your finger. Only thing wrong when he's drawing it out with his finger, only thing he's moving is dust and pulling it away. So when he gets to the end of it, there's a pile of dust. You're up in the mountains.
Mhm.
Your vehicle's dusty. So
Really
there's a
quick,
small-
did the slimy substance have a smell?
No,
Okay.
I didn't smell anything. And also there's probably about 2 inches, 2.5 inches of the wrist on there also. So whatever it was, it probably put his wrist on there first
Mhm.
and then laid the hand down.
Oh, I see.
It's the only thing I could think of how it happened.
How
But,
big was it compared to like your hand?
3 inches longer than each one of my fingers.
Jeez, that's a big hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Stringly hand, like a regular sized palm with like really stringly fingers or something.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
But after, and I don't got no proof. I told Ken about it. I showed him on all the photographs that we took. There's a other tip of a finger that had the same residue. That's probably, I'll say, 6 inches away. Like maybe there was another finger, but it didn't show up on the handprint. I
Okay.
mean, how should I say it? Maybe the finger was bent where it didn't lay flat on the vehicle.
Oh.
Just the very tip of it hit the vehicle. So you got 4 fingers and a thumb, but there might have been another one.
Might have been
We're
6
not aware of.
fingers. So there might have been 6 fingers.
Yeah, I could have had 6,
Hmm.
but it was only the very tip of your little pinky
Okay,
finger
I
touching
gotcha.
the vehicle.
I got you.
So it might have been bent, but I'm not
Right.
sure.
All right.
Okay, so what we did, well, what I did, Kid's brother took the photo. Okay, so I traced it with tracing paper. Okay, then I cut it out. I got a piece of styrofoam. I cut the styrofoam according to sketching paper. Then I cut it out. I put clay in it. I took it out of the styrofoam and I baked it. So I got a handprint of a clay handprint.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's really cool.
So yeah, I still show it here and there.
Yeah, I need to see a picture
Whoever
of that.
wants to see it.
Yeah, I want to see that. Send us a picture.
Okay. And yeah, that was weird. So anyway, we packed up and everything like that. And Ken was getting kind of upset because, I didn't believe him at first. After a while, I was like, no, because there's this residue. He couldn't have done that. So ended up there was one hand in front and then there was one right by the windshield. So what happened, for me to put my hands in the same box, same area, I had to stand on a box, which is like the size of my ice chest, 2 feet tall, for me to stretch out my arms to put it in the same place. So ended up, when I thought it was an earthquake, it wasn't an earthquake. Ended up it was something putting its weight on the vehicle.
So it was a bigger beam then.
So what it did, right where my hands are at, if I turned to the right, that thing was looking at the back of my head. I
Oh
never
my
did look to
God.
the front.
No.
So it was actually looking at me, whatever it was,
Wow, I was trying to get
through
your
the front
attention.
windshield.
That's what it seems like. I was trying to get your attention.
Yeah.
That is so
I'm glad I
frightening.
didn't look to the front.
Yeah, really.
So there might have been, a different type of alien
Right.
that was there. Uh, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, Kenneth is the only one that actually seen something, that little creature type thing. But I didn't see nothing, but we heard everything. My vehicle moved besides the alien behind Ken's tent, the shadow, but me seeing it face to face, I didn't see it, but it was behind the tent. I could see it. I could see the body outlining and everything. It was an alien
and
head and everything.
and I understand that Kenneth is not with you guys anymore, right?
Yeah, he passed away, and we don't know if that had to do anything with it or not. We don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And so what happened, we all packed up and we're talking about it during the whole trip down and everything like that. And I can't get no cell signal during that time. Back then, there wasn't much towers anyway. And so we finally got to a Cavity Avenue or a Cavity town that used to be there. Just called that area, it's called a Cavity. So we're down at the valley, very base of the foothill. I finally got signal. I called up Ken. I go, Ken, I need to show you something. I go, are you going to be home? He goes, yeah. Okay, stay right there. I'll be there. Just wait. So we got to his house, and he was talking to his wife and the kids and everything, stepkids. I go, open up the door. I go, check this out. So I waved at him. He goes to the vehicle. He looks at it, goes, what's that? I go, that was on the hood. He kept looking at it. He goes, it's like an alien hat. That has to be an alien hat.
Yeah.
And so he told me, go see his brother, which is from my house here is right down the street. But Ken was living in Clovis, so he called up his brother during that time I was driving to his house. And so he looks at it, he goes, whoa, what's that? I go, I don't know for sure. See, I go, Ken said could you take some photos? I go, yeah. So he took all kinds of photos of it and pictures of it. And I had it enlarged and everything like that. And then, but before I had it, we took the picture. Well, we took the picture later on. I had it enlarged. So I took Kenneth, which he lived right down the street from me, my apartment.
Right.
And we got to his house. He jumps out of the car, runs inside the apartment. He starts taking off his clothes, and I'm following him. And his girlfriend's laughing at him. Why are you taking off your clothes? He goes, check my body. Check if I got any marks. And he's, yelling at her, check my body. And so he was on his underwear. I turned around, went back to my vehicle, started to get out. So I didn't want to stand there, But
Right.
as soon as he went through the door, he started taking off the clothes. He's yelling, check my body, see if there's any marks. And she's kind of laughing. And he's trying to explain to her what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I turned around, walked off, started unloading his stuff and everything like that. And so it affected him pretty good. And I don't know if that cancer that he got was part of it or what.
Right.
We don't know.
Did he have any marks that you know of?
I never seen him. But she said later on he had some in his back, lower back.
Okay.
Later on, I found out.
Wow.
Also, for the movie, she was interviewed, but that was cut off for the filming because of time.
Wow.
But they interviewed her, so there's a clipping in there somewhere.
Wow, that's That's quite an
So,
experience. Very emotional.
yeah. So when I went to work that Monday, I still had the handprint on the hood. So when I got to work, I showed some friends and they checked it out. And, some of them was saying, you did that,
Yeah,
back then.
sure.
Didn't really believe it. But one of my friends, he's seen it. He goes, that's real.
Yeah.
That's, nobody drew it on there. I go, yeah, I go, look at the other handprints that I had Kenneth do. I go, the only thing he did was move the dust out of the way. I go, put your finger across it. And he did. He goes, yeah, you could feel it. Sort of like sticky. I go, yeah. So what I did later on, I got tired of looking at that handprint on my hood.
Oh, sure.
I didn't want to have, nightmares and everything,
Yeah, the
keep thinking
membranes.
about it.
Right.
So I got a buffer. I washed out the vehicle. I got a buffer.
Oh, you got serious.
Rugby
Okay.
compound on there. I
Yeah.
wanted that handprint out of there. And there was 2 handprints. So I put rugby compound on there, and I think I got it, got it out. All of a sudden, when the vehicle gets dirty, it shows back up.
That's
So I did that 3 times.
wow.
And I had the buffer on there on 3 different occasions, just sitting on it, just trying to get that out. It wouldn't completely go away. When it got dirty, it was back every single time.
It was in the paint. It was like it had to be like acidic to eat through the paint to the through the
Well,
gloss.
what it did, it didn't eat up the paint. What it did, it made a layer above it.
Oh man, that's even stranger.
So yeah, so it's like 2 pancakes. You got the paint layer down below, then you got the
Right.
other pancake on top with
Mhm.
syrup.
Yeah. It sounds like.
That's the best way to describe it. But I could not take that handprint out whatsoever. My car ended up, electronics went out on it later on. And, I did some work at Ken's house, putting flooring and painting and stuff. And, he paid for my vehicle to get fixed. I ended up selling it after that. So somebody ended up buying it after all, and it's somewhere in Parlier, the town.
Someone's driving around with a handprint on the
Yeah.
Probably still
Well,
there.
I don't know if, yeah,
That's
I don't know
wild.
if they've seen it or what, but I just traded it in for I had a Jeep after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what you see in the film was the Jeep after I got rid of the 4Runner.
Right.
Okay.
So, yeah. Yeah, so,
So I mean,
yeah, it's a trip.
when you going
At
back,
least now I could talk about it,
Oh, of
without
course.
feeling all weird.
Oh my God,
Oh,
no! This is
very
a
emotional.
crazy story, and it's very emotional, and
Yeah.
it's very personal.
It is.
Yeah, it is. It is big time.
Just really quick, going back to when you saw that light over the mountain, what color was that light? The beam.
Light over the mountain,
Yeah, the
by
beam.
the glacier,
Right.
sort of like glacier blue, white.
Oh man, that's really
That's
And that's
that's a cool color. Actually,
Yeah,
I've never seen a
actually.
color like that.
yeah, that is.
Usually, we see them green or white.
Yeah, it was the same colored light that was behind the tent.
Oh wow, a glacier white.
Yeah, sort of like a light bluish,
That's
clear
wild.
light. Yeah, like glacier ice, kind of.
Yeah, I get it.
What blows my mind is how many gray aliens have been right next to you all the time, physically touching you. It's crazy. I never heard a story where
That's-
so many encounters in your house, following you behind the bushes, under the bed. I mean, these things were everywhere.
Are they still following you today?
Last week, I seen something in the corner of my eye in the living room here. But I didn't.
Did you get any flashbacks, anxiety?
Yeah, you know what? I can. We only went camping one time since that date, and we end up going back over there just to face our fears.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We only stayed one night. We got the hell out of there next morning.
Man, you gotta face your fears.
It was uncomfortable. Basically, we were just waiting for something to happen. nothing did happen that we know of. It was just me and Ken. And yeah, we just basically wanted to go face our fears because, this had, that was years ago. So we had to finally go up there and see, just face our fears, see what happened. Nothing did happen, so which was great.
How do you feel about all this now? Like, how after all this, everything?
I feel a lot better. Before that, you couldn't really talk about it. Now that everything's pretty much in the open, you're able to talk about it. There's a lot of conferences going on. Back then, there wasn't. But the closest thing there was Art Bell, people calling in.
Oh man, that's a good name drop, Art Bell.
Yeah.
I grew up on Art Bell.
Classic.
Yeah.
That's the whole reason why I turned the lights down in here when you're telling your story. It gives me that nighttime, late night vibe. It's just that Art Bell, that Art Bell vibe. You can't get it anymore.
Yeah, check this out. Remember I was saying that other strange things happen?
Yeah.
There's this area that's called Camp Fresno. It's up in the mountains. You're probably up about 6,500 feet. And there's a creek that goes there, which is Tiki Creek. So there's a campsite to the north of the bridge on the east side of the creek. But I got there early in the morning, right when the sun was coming up, and I was by myself. So I must have got there probably about 5:45, something like that, 5:30 in the morning. Sun was just coming up. And I wanted to go to the south of the bridge, which is probably about 2 miles, if not maybe a little more. But there's a waterfall, but before the waterfall, there's some nice holes that you could fish. And I always catch fish there. So I got there early in the morning. I jammed over there, and I didn't take the trail. I just made a beeline because I knew where it was at. So I had to jump over, not walk, climb over logs and everything like that. Walking around the creek, it curves and everything like that. Waste too much time. And there's boulders, I'd rather climb over logs than trip or, mess up my ankle. A lot of it was loose. So made a beeline to that area so I could fish. So I got there. I go, oh, man, this is a good spot. This is going to be perfect. I'm all excited. I put a worm on there. I cast one time. Remember, I got there early in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Next thing I know, I woke up and it was almost getting dark.
Oh,
Looked around like, oh, shit.
again.
What
right?
happened? So I had to grab everything. I started half jogging back to the car. And when I got to the car, the sun went over the mountain. It was completely dark out there. There was, I didn't have a flashlight or anything. I just didn't want to get caught climbing over logs or running into a log.
Right.
And so I don't know what happened. Why was I asleep the whole day?
Yeah, man, those things.
So I was probably asleep probably close to 11 hours. What the hell happened during that time?
Sounds like a hypnotic
that was
regression.
weird.
Have you had that be done before?
What's that?
Hypnotic regression? Or do you even want
I
to?
could barely hear you.
Have you gone through a hypnotic regression?
I don't want to.
Okay, I don't blame you.
We got, that's when they put you under and try to get memory back.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't want to remember more than what I got.
Yeah, I can't blame you thinking about all this stuff.
I think I could barely hear you.
This is definitely an encounter of the fifth kind.
Yeah, and there's this other time I end up going back over there years later, same exact place, and I was fishing, and all of a sudden there's two guys across the creek, and what was weird, and I didn't know nothing what they were called back then, but those two guys right next to the creek looking at me, and ended up later on I found out they're men in black. They're wearing black suits and a white shirt.
This story.
standing there looking at me. I got nervous. I got my stuff, and I started walking out. The only thing they did was turn their heads. Their bodies didn't move. They looked at me as far as I could go. I kept turning around, looking at them. Their bodies were in the same spot. They didn't move, just their neck did, looking at me as far as I could go. And I was once I got to the top of the hill, because I had to climb up. I started running back to the vehicle.
That's wild.
Yeah, and I didn't know they were called Men in Black back then. I didn't know anything about that.
Wow. Definitely watching you. That is one heck of a story. I mean, this is probably the best story I've heard on aliens and abductions and the fifth kind.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if anything else pops up that I remember.
Yeah, sure. What we can do too is we can get you back on for some more information.
Let's get you back on a part 2, definitely, for sure.
And definitely Ken also.
Yeah, good thing you said Ken's name. It was my idea for the movie. I mean, it was Kinsey that wanted to do the movie and everything like that. We didn't know how to go about it. You know, he had a better idea, but my idea was, you know what, let's keep everything separated. I'll say my story, and we'll say his part, and then whatever the story is, you put them together on the movie, and see if everything matches up.
Well, let's do this.
It did, because during the filming, we never discussed what we said on the movie while we're being interviewed.
Exactly. So,
and I wasn't there, and when we took a polygraph test, when he took his, I went outside. We met in San Francisco, or south of San Francisco. Kinsey paid for somebody to do that, so we had to drive over there. While he was getting tested, I went downstairs of the apartment where the guy rented out for a day. And so I walked around and everything. So when they were done interviewing Ken, putting him, it was a lie detector test. That's whatever you call it. And so they had all kinds of wires on us and everything. So when I did mine, he walked out of the room also. So I never heard what he said, or he never heard what I said.
okay.
So during the whole making of the film, we're separated with Kinsey only. And Kinsey wasn't allowed to say to the other person what the other person said.
Gotcha.
So that's how the movie was made.
Gotcha.
So that's the reason I mentioned earlier, it's better if you just interview Ken separate.
Yes,
so you could hear his part of the story. He had a lot of stuff happen at his house.
Okay. What we'll do is we'll get we'll wrap this one up with you tonight, and we'll get a hold of Ken, and then we'll bring you both back on, and you both can just tie our thing together.
Yeah, that'll be great. That'll be great.
Yes, of course, Adolf. If there's anything else you can think of that you'd like to add, something that might have just slipped.
Yeah. What's a trip is that I remember going I remember walking toward it. I don't remember walking through the opening of the vessel, but I remember walking in, and there was about 5 to 6 people in front of me, humans.
Yes, I remember that.
And we're walking in a straight line. And as we're walking, each person, when we got like a 90-degree angle, each person went to the left. And ended up, I walked to the front once the person in front of me went to the left. We supposed to go sit in a booth. And yeah, it was weird. There was like some type of glass. And I had a feeling I had to sit down and wait for something, but I didn't. I was wondering why, because in front of us, front of this booth, it was a rectangle shaped area, probably about 5 feet by 7, 8 feet, maybe 7 feet. And I looked over the counter and I seen this weird creature type thing, and it had me puzzled. You know, nobody's talking whatsoever. And I'm thinking, what the hell is that?
Right.
And it was like a pig, hairless, but it had parts of different animals in it also. You
Where?
could see part of you could see part of a dog in there also. And it was laying down like if it was stressed out or it couldn't get up the way it was made.
So it was alive for sure,
It was live. I could see the stomach area going up and down.
but it was just.
I could tell it was breathing, but it was laying down on its side, and it was gross looking. It looked like they're experimenting with animals with their DNA, trying to hook something up or something.
Exactly what I'm
But
thinking.
Right.
it was weird. And then I remembered after last time we talked, I got out of that area. I walked around on the side of the wall, and it's only about 4.5 feet tall. And I could look over and I could get a better look at it. And then I was looking at it. I'm thinking, like, you know, again, what the hell is this? What kind of animal is this? You know?
Yeah.
Then it just dawned on me, you know, just clicked. Oh, they're experimenting. So I can't relate to what it is, but it had different features on there, on all the body parts, but the skin was all the same.
What color was it?
Sort of like pinkish,
Like a pig,
grayish
the
kind.
pig color mostly.
Yeah, like pig color, but also some light gray in it.
So if you were to say what this animal mostly looked like, was it mostly looking like a pig or evenly, you know, distributed different parts all around?
Yeah, I'll say the skin was like a pig.
Okay, is that's probably what gave you that?
But it was full. The skin, you know, like the pig skin's kind of tight because it had so much fat.
Yeah. That really tight. Yeah.
It was sort of like folded at part.
That's
It was like
gross.
rolls. Yeah, exactly. That's a good word for it. Yeah, those rolls on the skin,
Yeah.
and it looked really off, like it shouldn't be there, according to the animal. You know, just glancing at it, it just didn't look right. Nothing was fitting on this animal.
Probably wasn't even healthy, you know, probably suffering
no,
just being alive.
Yeah, it looked like an experiment, big time. It couldn't stand up whatsoever. It was just laying there. You could tell it was suffering. But then I started remembering after we talked last time, I heard something on the right-hand side of me. And there was an opening on the wall. And the walls are all, the desk area, which is weird, it had right angles.
Okay.
But when you look beyond that, all the walls were curved to the ground. Maybe this area was made to have right angles so we could accept it. Maybe we could deal with right angles. Maybe the human can, you know, sort of like transfer the energy or the information why everything is so round. So maybe they had everything at right angles in that small area so we could relate to it. Only thing I could think of.
Right.
But I heard a sound to my right, and there's an opening. I went, oh, shit. I'm going to go in there. And I walked in there, and I looked to the left. Ended up, there was hybrids.
What?
You could tell there was human in them. They're looking at us through a wall, but yet on the other side of the wall where I was at, you couldn't see a window. It was like a wall. So I guess the window, how it's made, they could look through it. And they're looking at me. So when I came around the corner, I think 3 of them stood up and looked at me.
That's crazy.
Like they gave me a look. the impression I got, nobody was talking, but I could hear them saying, "What is he doing here?" You know, that kind of information I got.
Yeah.
Not
Vibe.
that I heard that it was in English, but just the expression that I heard from them is, "What is he doing here?"
What do they look like?
And
Yeah, I
three
was
of
about
them,
to say, what do they look like? Are they tall, muscular, skinny? You know?
no, they're all skinny, but they're bigger than the other aliens that I seen earlier.
How tall do you think they were?
These were probably about, I'll say 4'8", 5'2".
Oh, little. And what were the features that these humanoid had? Like, was it like a human body with a dog head or something? Or
Oh no. They had human features on there, but their eyes were bigger.
oh, okay.
Any hair?
And they're wearing tight fitting,
Mm-hmm.
real tight suits.
Oh, these are like alien hybrids, humans.
Yeah, alien
Oh, I
hybrid.
thought they were like humans mixed with animal. I thought that's
No. Human hybrids.
Okay.
And the eyes were bigger. What about hair?
I didn't see no hair. It looked like they were wearing some kind of cap also.
Okay.
I didn't see no hair on these, but I seen hair on the one that was outside that was talking to me. Up on the road to the left of the vehicle,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you
he was
mentioned that.
doing all the talking. But I just got the impression like, you know, what is he doing here? And I turned to the left, and all of a sudden, I don't remember no more. I don't know what happened. Next thing I know, I was in the vehicle with my ex-girlfriend, and I don't know where she was at during that time. I know she wasn't in that line where I was at.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see her, and there's only like 5, 6 booths where you could sit. Well, I didn't sit down, but where you could be in. She wasn't in none of them, so I don't know where they took her. Next thing I know, I woke up. I don't
Right.
know what happened after they seen me. Yeah, it was
really
a
strange.
roller coaster ride. You know, you're there, then you're not.
Right.
You're there.
That's really strange because
Yeah, I don't know.
the way you described the ship as being was like an acorn or something. It didn't seem very large from the outside, but once you got inside, it seemed like it's just a lot bigger.
Yeah, that's what tripped me out. I mean, it looked, you know, probably, I don't know, 20 feet across, 25. No, not even that. Maybe 20 feet across, 25 feet tall, 30 feet tall, maybe.
Yeah, something going on there inside that ship. They're somehow they're warping the material world into something else, some kind of disproportionate space and time thing. They're just stretching the inside of the realm of their ship. They're expanding it into a small physical on the outside, but large on the inside. It just really
It's like a miniature dimension.
out there.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's like if
wow.
once you're enter that vehicle, you're in different dimensions. So
Time goes different too, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it doesn't matter really what I seen on the outside is just what they want to see according to our dimension. But once you go into theirs, it's totally different. I mean, it was big inside.
Yeah.
That is really
I've
strange.
heard this before. So I'm like, yeah, and time's also, because that's, you know, the whole thing when, you know, time's always different when people get abducted. The time's always different. And I always thought, and for what people said, there's something about once you get in that ship, it's like a different dimension, completely different dimension, because the ship moves in different dimensions, in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I couldn't relate to how big it was according to how small it was on the outside, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't know once I went in how long of a time or distance it was for me to be in that room to see that creature type thing. You know, maybe I went through several rooms or hallways before I even got to that point. I don't know.
What did you happen to get to look at the head of it? What kind of head did it have, if you saw that?
I didn't. I seen part of it 'cause it was laying on the. Well, I'll just say it this way: it was laying on the northwest corner of the area, so I couldn't see. I seen like part of the eye. I couldn't see if they had a, like a pig's face or anything.
Mm-hmm.
The ears were smaller. It wasn't like a pig, but the eyes were like a pig. But I couldn't see the snout because right where I was leaning down, it was right around the corner, and the top of the bench or the desk or the shelf. I mean, I couldn't see that angle where I was at.
Mm-hmm. So what?
Yeah, it was suffering.
So what?
It was suffering big time.
When you said like a dog, like what parts, what features did it have that's similar to a dog?
The back end, the legs,
Okay.
it didn't have pig legs,
Oh wow.
but it had pig skin, and that's where I seen the folds.
well,
The folds of the skin.
that is something because when we spoke with Ken, he mentioned that during one of his abduction episodes that he came upon a cat dog. What was it? A dog body or
Yeah, a cat it was a dog body with the head of a cat. That was like spying on him or something.
Trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the reason I don't want to get interviewed the same time,
of course.
because they took him at a different time and they took me at a different time. What I'm talking about, it wasn't at CourtRide at 10-1102. This happened at Hensley.
Mm-hmm.
At CourtRide, I don't remember being in the ship. But at Hensley with my ex-girlfriend, that's the part I remember. At CourtRide, I don't remember going into a ship. I probably was, but maybe I blocked it out. I don't know. So that's the reason I like interviewing separately, because he knows what he's seen and I know what I've seen.
Right.
And we're up and awake at different times like a roller coaster. All
Yes.
depends when they get you.
Man, that guy got abducted about 100 times from what I can count.
Yeah, he
Jeez.
went through a lot too. He went through a lot, just like you did, Adolf.
So what else was on that ship?
Everything was rounded out on the walls except that those cubicles. Maybe that's the word I wanted to use earlier.
There's
The cubicle.
Okay.
Yeah, because they had those walls between each person.
And they're like cubicle walls. You can see through it.
Yeah, you could see through it.
It's interesting. Could be,
But,
could be part of the technology. You know, I don't see why they'd be decorating in there. I don't think they.
Yeah, but I think they try to make it easier for us to understand.
Man,
That's because those right angles in that certain areas, but the rest of it was the walls were curved to the floor. There was no other right angles around everywhere, even the walkway. I went through that doorway type thing. I mean, it still had an arc on it on top and on the bottom where you could walk straight, but you know, the way it curves toward the floor,
Yeah.
it was just enough for you to walk through there. That's how much of a
Mhm.
curve there was.
And
And it was small because they're small.
so you,
right.
But,
you never have balance then, or something. That's
yeah, I
weird.
was.
Any
Yeah, it was a trip.
any buttons, panels,
Sure.
lights in there?
What's that?
Any buttons, panels, lighting?
No, I know there was some kind of screen in front of them.
What was playing? Do you remember?
What's that?
Do you remember if anything was playing on the screen?
No. What I'm talking about is like a computer screen,
Okay.
but it was all lit up.
Hmm.
It wasn't on the wall. It was where they placed their fingers on. I seen lights there, but I couldn't see it. It just happened so quick. Then I stopped remembering what happened. But yeah, there was light on the counter. That's a better word I'm using, on the screen, but there wasn't buttons. It was lights
Interesting.
that I seen real quick.
Very interesting. That's a lot of stuff. Going on the ship
I
and
barely
seeing
could hear you.
on the ship when you saw the hybrids and this chimera type of creature laying on the ground. That's a lot to take in.
Yeah, I mean, it tripped me out big time. I mean, it didn't look healthy whatsoever. It looked like it was suffering. I felt bad for it.
They're probably just trying to see how long that thing would live, or
Well,
who knows? And maybe they get something out of it suffering, some kind of energy.
Well, also, it could be that they want to see my reaction.
Oh, that
Since
too.
aren't good. Maybe they want to see my reaction, what I thought of it.
Yeah, that thing sounds grotesque.
It was. It was gross.
Do you think that thing could, like, did it even look like it could? Let's just say it wasn't whatever in the position. Do you think it could actually walk if it was healthy? Was it even built? Did it look like it was built? Okay.
No.
It's
You know what?
disproportionate.
The best way to describe it, tomato hornworms.
Yeah. Big old
Ugly
things.
things?
Yeah, ugly, nasty things. Yeah.
It was like that. That's the impression I got out of it.
So that thing wasn't gonna
But,
walk. Oh, that's disgusting. So it was just like a big sack of skin, or skin sack with guts. I don't know. Ugh, it's gross.
There's more rules on it.
Man, that's that's crazy, man.
That's the best description I could think of. That's gross. Smaller according to the size of that creature.
Yeah.
It match up. Nothing was matching up except the skin.
Very, 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 very weird.
It was gross. Yeah, that's the best way to describe it.
I mean, look at. I understand. There's things that I've seen, and there's only certain words that you can use to describe. Like, I saw this thing. I saw this thing one time. I call it a Brillo man because it looks like a Brillo pad. That's just another conversation for another time. But you can't make this up. I can't figure it out. It looked like a Brillo pad, just how you're saying. Like it looked like.
Yeah.
You can't explain it because there's no other way to explain it.
Yeah, that's the best way I could describe it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it was
amazing.
It was gross.
Amazing, but yet terrifying at the same time. That you went through all this. Anything current? And before we close out, anything currently happening?
No, you know what? Actually, today, just between the time you called me and by the time I got home, I seen something on the left-hand side of me, and I turned around real quick, and nothing was there. But it was like, wait a minute. I go, was there something standing there looking at me? I don't know. Maybe
They're listening.
Playing tricks on me or something. But yeah, I thought I seen something on the left-hand side of me, and it's been happening actually since we talked last time.
Oh, well,
you weren't talking to me. You're talking to Dominic, so don't blame it on me.
I'll tell you what. After that interview, our very first
What's
talk.
that? I barely could hear you.
After our very first talk.
Yeah.
That next evening, I came down with chills and a fever, lasted with us like a 3-hour span, and I had nightmares of aliens.
Whoa. That's a trip because the next day I wasn't feeling too good also. I didn't have no fever. I was really tired.
Wow, that's what happened to me, but with the chills and the fever.
Wow.
Yeah, you guys got something going on. Glad I'm not a part of it. I'm just kidding.
Wow. All righty. If anything else happens, we hope it doesn't happen to you again. Give us,
definitely gotta let us know.
Yeah, you have our digits. Let us know. Hold on, and I'll chat with you after we wrap up here.
Yeah, just hang on a little bit with us, buddy.
All righty. Yeah, I don't let me think here for a second.
I'm pretty sure there's has to be one thing.
Okay, the way I see things is like pictures. And then once a picture shows up, then there's a video that shows. I got a real good memory on certain things, but I'm lousy at numbers unless it's me writing it.
Mhm.
I can't remember phone numbers. I can remember faces. I can remember names, but phone numbers I cannot remember for some reason. Ken even laughs about me about that.
I can't
But,
remember numbers either. I can't remember numbers either. I think I just common.
Yeah, this is from, late 70s. I wasn't able to do that.
Oh, back in the day when, okay.
Well, even now.
Now it's different. I just don't, we don't have to anymore. They made it convenient for us. But I remember when I was in grade school up until maybe all the way through high school, I think, because cell phones just came out in high school, but they still weren't they weren't the thing to have. You had to be spoiled. I was spoiled, fortunately. I had one. But we had to remember everybody's number. Either you wrote it down in a book or you remembered everybody's number. So yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, you had to remember numbers back then.
Yeah.
Or you carry a little book with you, a little phone book.
Yeah, well, back then, people had pagers. There was no cell phones.
I remember those too. My dad had one. He had a 2-way or whatever that thing was, like a little, all customized.